Okay, good morning everybody. It's me, Leaf and the Gust here. Okay. Today we're gonna be not having fun, that's for sure. Alright. Alright, here's what we're gonna do, fam. We're gonna listen to the story of the Eldrazi. In the background here.
You enter the space. Magic the Gathering has thrived on the vibrant tapestry of its 5 colors since its creation, with each representing not just a strand of mana, but a philosophy, a way of life, and a realm of possibilities. From the relentless growth of green to the strategic depth of blue, colors define the game. But what happens when those colors are stripped away? When the canvas is left bare and devoid of the hues that give life to the multiverse? All that leaves is nothingness. Within that nothingness, we can find the Eldrazi.
I think I'd rather have the Mining Fortune.
These are ancient cosmic entities that stand as a symbol of absence. These titans of oblivion defy the structure of the multiverse as they show off the insatiable hunger of the void, the very center of a game defined by its foe. So prepare to discover the horrors that lie beyond the spectrum of man. This is the story of the Eldrazi, their imprisonment, the battles for Zendikar and Innistrad, and what makes these creatures some of the most dramatically perfect cards in all of Magic the Gathering. To get a real grasp on these eldritch horrors, first we need to understand where they come from. Typically, we're able to explore and understand Magic's multiverse through the planes that we visit. City world of Ravnica, the folksy plains of Lorwyn, or just straight up ancient China for some reason. And because of that, planes have become the cornerstone of Magic the Gathering, and Planeswalkers have become our eyes into this universe. These Planeswalkers are characters who let us explore new worlds, find exciting creatures, and expand on the universe of the game that we love. The thing is, walking to a new plane isn't like walking to another country. These are entirely separate spaces, and between them is nothing. Only the most powerful Planeswalkers can survive within this realm between realms for an instant. In this chaotic void of endless, incomprehensible emptiness is called blind eternities. Even those brave few do enter space can't even fathom what they witness, as their minds bend it and perceive it entirely different from normality. For example, Karn finds blind eternities to be a prickly and painful space where he feels both vertigo and stillness, while Jace sees it as an endless, intricate layer since they've been introduced, we still don't really have a true understanding of what these things are. Spirit Dragon describes them as a man sticking his hand in water, the man being the Eldrazi and the water being the flames they interact with. However, to the fish within that water, those who live on the world, and is all they can see of their intruder, they can't even begin to understand what really stands for. Together, these titans roam the blind predators in search of their next meal, finding lush plains filled to the brim with mana so that they can siphon from them until nothing remains. These horrific monsters are the ultimate threat to all living things in the multiverse, and as such, 3 Planeswalkers would gather together and eliminate. The Spirit Dragon uses his invisible flame and vast knowledge of colorless magic. The vampire Sorin Markov brought powerful spells to drain their energy and life, and the hearing the Lithomancer aimed to force the Titans into different forms so that they could ultimately be destroyed. However, they failed. The Eldrazi were too powerful to build, and so the Planeswalkers had to change their focus. If these monsters couldn't be eliminated, then maybe they could at least be contained. So they plotted to rule the Titans in a single plan where they could work together to sever the Titans' connection with Blind Eternity. Essentially, they were choosing to sacrifice one world for the sake of the multiverse, and that world was Zendikar. While it might be hard to believe, millennia ago Zendikar was a beautiful, mana-rich plane. That all changed with instant. Sorin remembered the Eldrazi plane as he used this colorless magic to bind the Titans to him. Time, Fury created a network of stone diamonds called Egypt, which will enable the Eldrazi to defend. Their invasion brought unimaginable destruction. Entire ecosystems were obliterated. The very fabric of Zendikar's reality was twisted by their presence. However, the trio of Planeswalkers forced the Titans to a remote location within Zendikar's mountains. Here, they had arranged electrons to funnel ley lines of energy, which were used to seal the Titans in a subterranean chamber on the eye. This mystical lock would be put in place, and unless 3 Planeswalker sparks met together with Hugin's flame, the seal would never open again. With the threats seemingly defeated, Hugin and Sorin would leave the plane, but Nahiri would stay behind on Zendikar to guard the eye. But at the very least, her partners would leave her with a way to signal to them if she ever needed help in the future. As the years passed, Nahiri would go on to teach the people of Zendikar about the Titans. But as centuries slipped by, eventually she became exhausted from she had done all she could to warn the people of Zendikar about its sleeping monstrosities. But like the Eldrazi, time consumes all. Her warnings were no exception. The legends of these ever-hungry Titans that she had warned Zendikar of became twisted and distorted. Rather than the invading horrors that they were, the Eldrazi were soon seen as gods. New stories would be created around them, and so the merfolk deity of Ula, Cozy, and Nymeria would be created. No one left on Zendikar who knew their true origins. Meanwhile, within their prison, the Eldrazi's hunger continued to grow and strain the egos which held them inside. While not entirely able to break free, some of their power spilled over. Ulamog's malice began spreading outside of his prison, and infected those who were living in the mountain. Those corrupted by Ulamog's presence would become a cult devoted to the beings that they believed were the mountains. They would establish a temple and perform rituals dedicated to these gods. Ultimately, they would loosen the bonds of the Eldrazi's prison. The fraction of the Titans managed to escape, taking shape as a legion of Eldrazi gnomes. Zul'Adan, the Void Warrior, was among the first to be awakened, and it would devour everything in its path and would cycle mana to the return of the Titans. However, Zul'Adan also inspired hunger in those around him. As this monster approached, its enemies would become so hungry that they would begin devouring each other. But some of the cultists on Zendikar saw this hunger as a gift. Even if only 12 would survive the onslaught of the Eldrazi Legion, their warped view of the world would have them thinking they were blessed. They would go on to harness this new voraciousness to become the plane's first vampires. By the time that Nahiri awoke, Zendikar had basically been brought to even by the Eldrazi Legion and their vampires. She reached out to Ugin and Sorin for aid, but no matter how much she called, there was no response. So she did all that she could. Fighting alone, she managed to slay Zendikar and repaired the damage seal to stop the flow of the Titans through. But even with Zendikar safe, she was left wondering why her companions had abandoned her. So she set out to Innistrad in search of Sorin. When she found him, he would tell her that her signal had been absorbed by the Hell Vault, a massive tablet made out of moon silver which could absorb the life essence of anything not natively from Innistrad. But Nahiri refused to believe this. She saw the vampires on Zendikar's base, which hadn't existed before her slumber, and she blamed Sorin for their existence. Enraged by this misguided belief, Nahiri would threaten Sorin and ultimately drew the ire of his creation, the angel Avacyn. Avacyn and Nahiri would fight until Sorin was left with no option other than to seal Nahiri in the Hell Vault and stop her attack. 6,000 years after the Eldrazi had originally been sealed, a planeswalker from Kaladesh named Chandra Nalar manages to get her hand on an artifact called the Dragon Stone, holding within it the secrets of Moon's Ghostfire. She would be confronted by Jace, who had been sent to collect the scroll for her to protect the secrets. But while he did succeed in retrieving it, Chandra's curiosity was already piqued, and she would set out on a quest to find the origins of the scroll. She would spend 3 years exploring the plane before finding the sage Anowon and convincing him to leave her behind. Meanwhile, Sarkon Bull had been sent to Zendikar by Nico Bolas and finds Chandra just as Anowon tries to backstab. Sarkon steps in at the last moment to save her, and ultimately he would guide her the rest of the way. However, they would not be the only planeswalkers on Zendikar. Jace had also arrived and he too crossed paths with Anowon. But after defeating the vampire, Jace would search through his memories and find the location of the Eye of Heaven. By the time Jace entered the Eye, he found Chandra battling an immense dragon. She and Sarkon had had a disagreement, and he had transformed the battlefield deep within the mountain. Jace tries to help, but his magic is immediately absorbed by the floating demons inside, and so he thinks back to the dragon scroll and suggested that Chandra use the spell within it to defeat Sarkon. This spell was the Invisible Fire, Flame's Ghost Blade. With that, 3 planeswalker sparks and the flame of Ugin had met before the lock sealing the Eldrazi away. Hedrons all over the plane sprang to life and took new forms, bending the very laws of nature around them as the ancient seal had been undone and broken. The Eldrazi had been freed, and each shook their own new lineage onto the world. The most terrifying of all were the 3 titans who guided the path. Ulog was the shaper of the physical, blended muscle and bone together with patterns grew, each being marked with a skeletal mask and blindly feeding on the land as they slithered across it. Its creations have no thought but hunger, no strategy but destruction, leave only dust and memory in the left bender of reality would mark his lineage with floating obsidian crowns which acted as windows to the blind eternity. Simply touching those crowns was enough to kill anyone without a planeswalker spark on contact. While Ulamog's spawn kept consumed mindlessly, Kozilek's brood would infiltrate and see the thinking beings, and as they spread across Zendikar, the very land itself warped as it was stripped away layer by layer. Finally, the most powerful of all was Emrakul, warper of biology. She would corrupt the bodies and minds of living beings until they were unrecognizable monsters whose bodies would feed with clearly loose, horrific entities. All around her life was the form of revenge. In response to the awakened Eldrazi, Sorin returned to Zendikar. However, without Ugin and Fury, he was forced to ally himself with Nissa. He had asked her to reinforce the spell which would help the Eldrazi in the flame. However, she disobeyed. Nissa instead destroyed the main Hedron and completely untethered the Titans from Zendikar. It was her hope that once they were free, they would take the opportunity to escape from the flame. But as it turns out, this idea was dumb as hell. Sorin did all he could, but his ally had actively chose not to listen to his warnings, and rightfully feeling betrayed, he would leave Zendikar in Nissa's clearly capable hands as the Eldrazi continued their rampage.
Yeah, you can only get them from gemstones.
Completely untamed. Luckily, she wouldn't be alone for long. Chandra, Jace, and now Gideon had arrived to fend off the Titans. This joining of planeswalkers to defend the sea gates had